Hi, very good evening to all of you. Yes, tomorrow I will upload for CMA internal. EasyBP I will upload. Hi, very good evening. Please check it out whether audio and video is clear or not. Then we can start our discussion with the assessment procedure and such Caesar survey chapter. Yes, very good evening. Now, audio and video is clear or not, then we can. Yes. So directly we can start our discussion with the assessment procedures chapter. Yes, we have to start our discussion with the new chapter, that is an assessment procedure. Now, first I will tell you some introduction related to assessment procedure. Yes, if SSC filed his return of income, if SSC filed the return of income, I think you know every SSC required to file the return of income on their own assessment basis. That is only called as self-assessment. So that return of income will reach to the department. In the department, one person called as an assessing officer will do the assessment of that return of income, whether SSCs are filed the correct return of income as well as incorrect return of income. So that means whether they are declared their income in a proper manner or improper manner, these are all the things can be verified by the assessing officer. That procedures only known as assessment procedures. So in this chapter, we have generally in our ICMI material, we have nearly 17 sections, so more are also there. But now we can discuss some important sections. Yes, the first section very important, that is section 142, inquiry before assessment. Yes, first section we can start, that is inquiry before assessment. Listen carefully. Sir, directly no need to start the assessment, sir. First, assessing officer can do the inquiry with the SSC. Now, so within that 142 section, we have two subsections. One is 142.1, second one is on 142. These two are important. Listen carefully. Now, sir, how we can do the inquiry? That means we want to ask some questions. For that questions, SSA needs to give a response. So while verification of return of income, I have some doubts. Definitely, I can do inquiry with the SSC before starting the assessment. Now, so 142.1 is issue of notice to the SSC. What is my objective for issuance of this notice? For collection of information from the SSC. So we are asking some questions in that notice. For that, he needs to give the reply. That is only called as an inquiry. So for what purposes assessing officer can issue the notice, sir? Yes, I will tell you. For two purposes only, AO can send the notice under section 142.1 to the SSC. What are the two purposes? First, I will tell you. Yes, SSC not at all to file the return of income. Yes, after that expiry of the due date. Sir, within the due date, I don't want to disturb the SSC. After that expiry of the due date, I will send the notice to the SSC. Sir, you not at all furnished your return of income. Please furnish the return of income. So one notice. Second type. Yes, already he filed the return of income. For conducting the assessment of that return of income, I need SSC books of accounts and documents. I can ask these books of accounts and documents by way of sending the notice. Sir, how many prior years I can ask, ma? Relevant previous year, 3 prior years maximum you can ask by way of sending this notice under section 142.1. Next, yes, second one, you can ask the information related to books and you can ask the books and documents also, and you can ask the yes information related to SSE assets and liabilities also. Remember, sir, this is one type of notice we can send. If SSC not file the return of income, we can send the notice for the purpose of filing of return of income. Second one, already he filed the return of income. For conducting that assessment, I want some details from the SSC. What are the details? Assets and liabilities information and books of accounts and documents I want. So that's why I can send the notice under section 142.1 before starting the assessment. Now, important part in this section, sir, assessing officer send a notice, sir. In response to that notice, he needs to file return of income, but he not at all file the return of income. Then, what is the remedy? Now, AO will start the best judgment assessment. AO will start which assessment, ma? Best judgment assessment. After few minutes, I will start it. Now, so definitely after this session, I will make this video in a private track. So I have some reasons. I will tell you after that. Yes, remember. Okay, please check it out, ma. If you file the return of income, that's okay. In response to this notice, you are not at all filed the return of income. Now, what is that point, ma? Yes, AO will start the best judgment assessment against the SSC. Now, sir, they want your books of accounts and documents and information for conducting the assessment. Now, you are not at all submitted these things for conducting assessment. SSC not at all submitted these documents, books and information. Then what is the thing, ma? So no problem. If you are not submitted, we will conduct the search and the seizure in your residential premises or business premises, and we can collect that information and documents. Yes, 142.1. Remember, notice for two purposes. One is a written, second one is a books and documents related information. Now, 142.2 is nothing but, yes, we can collect the information from any source also. But in 142.1, we are sending the notice to SSC. From SSC only we are getting the information. From SSC only we are getting information. But in this section, we are getting an information from the third parties also. So now, why, sir? If you want to get a full information with respect to the income or loss of any person, so now I can inquire with the third parties also. Example, with the customers, with the creditors, with the debtors. So from any other persons also, they can get that information for the purpose of conducting the assessment. So that is only section 142, ma. It is important. It is over now. Remember, anytime 142.1 is very important notice. Can you tell me for how many purposes we can send the notice to the SSC? One is on return of income furnishment related. Second one, books and documents related. What is the use of books and document, ma? For the purpose of conducting assessment. Now, second, 142.2A2, 142.2D. 142.2A2, 142.2d. What is that? Special audit and inventory valuation. I think 1 year back we have an only special audit. Now they are added inventory valuation, last Finance Act amendment, but now they are not at all asked in the last attempts. Now we can get this in our exam anyhow. Please remember. Special audit and inventory valuation, I'm starting with this, remember. So 142 2A to 2D, yes, special audit and inventory valuation. So I will take one simple example for understanding this concept. Yes. Reliance filed their return of income, or any other big company you can take as an example, no problem. They filed the return of income. Who have a responsibility to verify that return of income? EAO. So by way of following some assessment procedures, he has to verify whether filed return of income is correct or incorrect. Now, but EAO having certain doubts. Sir, in the books of accounts, some complexities are involved because they are doing the e-commerce transactions also, and volume of accounts is very high, and we haven't doubt about the correctness of that accounts. They submitted the P&L, but I haven't certain doubts. And the multiplicity of transactions are reflected. That means duplicate transactions also there. And specialized nature of business activities are nothing but they are entered into the traditional business as well as e-commerce also. So that's why we are unable to verify the income properly. Now, in the interest of the department, that means so maybe we are thinking that SSE is an escaped some income from the tax or anything. So the department having some loss in this situation based on these circumstances. Based on these circumstances, any one of these circumstances is encountered, definitely AO, yes, will direct the SSC. AO will direct the SSC to, sir, please conduct the special audit and inventory valuation. So I will not proceed with that assessment, sir, because I haven't, these are all our doubts. If I'm conducting that assessment, definitely it leads to that incorrect assessment order only. So that's why please go for the special audit as well as inventory valuation. So normally, if any manufacturing company is having the stock in trade in a huge volume, for them we can direct the inventory valuation also. But AO is not having that authority to direct. For that, he has to take a prior approval from the AO. Higher authorities are nothing but CIT, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. From them, they have to take an approval for giving this direction of special audit. But this is a 4-mark important question. Before giving the direction of a special audit and inventory valuation to that SSC, yes, for that SSC, you have to provide at least a reasonable opportunity of being heard. So, okay, you having some doubts about these, all the things. At least you need to give a chance to that SSC for communication. So, otherwise, yes, without giving that opportunity of being heard to that SSC, if you are directing the special audit or inventory valuation, that is invalid. No. Sir, already in the hands of SC tax audit conducted, other audits also conducted, sir. But if AO directs with the prior approval of higher authorities, special audit and inventory valuation is mandatory. Special audit and inventory valuation is what, mandatory. So special audit can be done by CA, sir. Inventory valuation can be done by the CMA. So can you tell me the CS and CMA list is nominated by the who are eligible to conduct the special audit as well as inventory valuation. This list of CS and CMAs will be nominated by the approved authorities only, who are approving this special audit as well as inventory valuation. These authorities only can give the nomination for these CS and CMAs. But sir, whose interest is affected here? Department interest affected. So that's why they are directing for the special audit and inventory valuation. Now I am appointing one CA and CMA from this nominated list. Now who is required to pay the remuneration? Remember, central government as well as, central government only is required to pay the remuneration. Yes. So SSE will not pay ma. Who required to pay? In our example, Reliance is not required to pay. Who required to pay? Central government. Now, after completion of special audit as well as inventory valuation, remember what is the time limit ma? So there is no time limit. Generally AO will give you the some time limit. So the time limit allowed by AO, within the time we have to complete the special audit as well as inventory valuation. But if the time is not sufficient, along with the original time limit, they can give the extension also. Yes, it shall not exceed ma. So it is an that at the time of writing that not is missed, please incorporate. It shall not exceed 180 days. It shall not exceed how many days? 180 days. Remember, this 180 days shall be counted from the date of direction of special audit or inventory valuation. This total number of 180 days shall be counted from the date of direction of special audit as well as inventory valuation. And a very important MCQ exclusively in our CMA final study material we have. Yes, who required to submit the report to whom? CA CMA, who are responsible for conducting the audit. Yes, they required to submit to the report. They required to submit the report to the SSE in which form number? Form number 6 capital B. Now, SSE is required to submit. That means nothing but CA CMA who conducted the audit, yes, they will submit the report to the SSE in form number 6B. Yes, after receiving this, yes, SSE will forward these things to the whom? AO. Forward these things to the AO. Now, so what happened? Here assessing officer is in dilemma. What is the reason? Sir, these are all issues are faced by the AO at the time of conducting that assessment. These are all the doubts can be resolved by the CA CMA report only. Now, sir, if you are conducted the special audit, that's okay. I can complete that assessment in a proper manner. If you are not complied with the special audit inventory valuation directions, if an SSE fails to get the special audit and inventory valuation, now I can't do the assessment ma. So properly now I will start the best judgment assessment. What do you mean by the best judgment assessment? Sir, as per available information, as per assessing officer decision making, he can complete the assessment, he can declare the total income of the SSC. He can declare the total income of the SSC. Generally, I want to conduct the scrutiny assessment on your file, but I haven't doubts. That's why I directed the special audit. You are not followed the special audit directions. Now, what is the remedy? I will not conduct the, yes, I will not conduct the, so what is that audit ma? Sorry, what is that assessment ma? Scrutiny assessment. Now, directly I will initiate the best judgment assessment against the SSC. Now, in two cases we discussed ma. If you not file the return of income in response to the section 142(1) notice, we can initiate the best judgment assessment. Second one, if you have not followed the special audit or inventory valuation directions also, definitely I can go with the what ma? Best judgment assessment. Now, two sections are over. Yes, next 142 capital A I will start ma. Reference to the valuation officer. Reference to the what ma? Valuation officer. But 142 2A to 2D important ma, time limit remember. Original plus extension it shall not exceed 180 days from the date of direction of AO. Who can give the direction? With whose approval? These are all the things you should learn. Next. What is the form number for submitting the inventory audit reports? Is inventory valuation report or special audit report ma? Form number 6B. Now, reference to the valuation officer, we can call valuation officer as a shortcut VO. Now, remember, very important ma. 142A reference to the valuation officer. I will tell you example. Here SSC Mr. K filed his return of income. So on that return of income, who required to do that assessment ma? AO. But in this return of income, we declared some assets, we declared some properties, investments. Now, who have a responsibility to value that all the things. So I declared some asset value, property value, investment value, and return of income. Who have a responsibility to value that all the things, EAO. So estimate the value of all the things we are declared in our return of income. Now, can you tell me? Assessing officer is an expert in that valuation? No. AO can give the reference to the valuation officer. Now, valuation officer is required to estimate the asset, property, investment. Now, valuation officer is not a god, sir. Remember, valuation officer is not a god and you don't have any magic tricks, etc. Now, valuation officer definitely will approach with the SSE. SSE is required. Example, yes ma, I filed a return of income. In that return of income, I declared the some building property. For that valuation of that building, so definitely valuation officer will do the inquiry with the SSE. So SSE will submit some information. Now remember, from other sources also they can ask this information. Now, yes, I am an owner. So previous owner, yes, is a seller. From the previous owner also like that they can collect. But during this negotiation process, we haven't disputes. So how this valuation officer will believe the information provided by the previous owner? That's why remember, if other sources related evidence, if they want to use in this valuation, so first they have to provide a reasonable opportunity of being heard to that SSA. So first, whatever that information given by the other sources, if you want to use in this valuation, first please communicate to me. After that, you can use in the valuation. Are you clear? Remember, reference, if anything is given, the many students are thinking he's a hero, he's an expert, he's having the magic. No. He will ask with the SSE or from third parties. SSE information directly he can use in the valuation. Other parties information, after providing a reasonable opportunity of being heard to that SSE only, they can use. Now, sir, I am not at all cooperating with the valuation officer, sir. Now, how the valuation officer can do the valuation of these things, ma? Now, that is only the point. If that SSE not cooperated with the directions of VIVO, he values that asset at the best of his judgment. So, like whatever that information is available within his hands, he can complete the valuation. He can submit the valuation report. Now, valuation report needs to submit it to two persons, ma. One is an AO, another one is an SSE. Because who are giving the direction, ma? Or reference, ma? AO. That's why for AO. And whose asset you are valuing? SSE asset. That's why you have to submit the valuation report to both the persons. Now, time limit is important. Valuation report you have to submit within 6 months from the end of the month in which reference was made. Reference made on this date, that month end within 6 months. Yes, definitely valuation officer needs to give the valuation report. Clear? Now, remember, here who given the valuation report, ma? Valuation officer given the valuation report to assessing officer. If an assessing officer wants to use the valuation report in that assessment, definitely assessing officer needs to provide the reasonable opportunity of being heard. Sir, if I am providing information directly, you can use. Valuation officer is third party. He given the one valuation report. How you can use directly? How you can use directly in my assessment that valuation report? First, provide a reasonable opportunity of being heard me. After communicating with me only, then you can use that valuation report in the assessment. Are you clear? So these are the two things, ma. Yes, reference to the valuation officer. Are you clear? Now, So now I want to start the 143.1. Now I want to start with the 143.1. First I want to know about the, so first of all, please give me information about, are you understanding the whatever the topics we are already covered? Ma? I think 3 sections are covered. 142 is over. Next, 142 2A 2D special audit inventory valuation over, and 142A reference to the valuation officer is also over. Are you clear? So please give me information ma, up to now. So just if you are giving an information, then I will proceed with the further sections and we can discuss some workbook questions also. Vaishnavi, super. Life of CMA student, clear, super. Friend, super. Rama, super. Mask, super. Now, 143.1. Sir, in every assessment year, yes, crores of return of incomes are filed by the SSEs. Now, how assessing officer will conduct the assessment of all returns? First of all, I will tell you, computerized preliminary assessment is there. Computer software will do the processing initially for all returns. That is only this section. 143.1, processing of a return and intimation and summary assessment. Next one, summary assessment. Okay, these 3 things are one and the same, but you have to remember 3 names. In every exam, they are shuffling the names also. So please repeat: processing of a return, intimation, summary. Now, we can start the discussion with the 143 subsection 1 directly. Whatever the sections I am covering in this revision session, thoroughly you can prepare. Mostly 100% you are getting the questions from that only, but don't do by heart. Try to learn the concept. If not possible, yes, you can remember up to exams, no problem. But try to listen. If you have any doubt, yes, you can type. 143 subsection 1. 1 is an processing of a return. Second name we have an intimation. Third name we have an summary assessment. I will tell you reason also why we are having these 3 names. All returns means 100% of the returns which were filed by the SSEs during the assessment year, that all the things shall be processed under section 143.1. It is a computerized preliminary assessment. Now, while processing of a return, yes, these are the following adjustments can be done by the AO to the return of income. Example, I will tell you. I'm an SSE. I filed a return. I'm declaring the total income, yes, as an 10 lakh. In my return of income, I declared the 10 lakh. But computerized processing is done automatically. Assessing officer, these are all the adjustments can be made to the total income declared in the return of income. Now we can discuss one by one what are the adjustments can be done. Sir, arithmetical errors, normally we have a paper filing of return of income also. That is an, yes, without electronic devices we can fill the all the details on paper. You can file in some cases. So if that arithmetical errors are there, yes, you can correct that arithmetical errors. Second one, incorrect claims, deduction exceeding the limit. Sir, you are eligible for certain amount only, but you are claimed more and more deduction in your return. Now we can do that adjustment. And you claim the some deductions. For the deduction, medical certificate is needed, but you are not furnished the medical certificates, like some information if you are not furnished. So items are inconsistent with the other entry. That means if you are claiming any incorrect deductions, that all the things can be adjusted to that SSE total income. Now, remember, sir, if you want to carry forward the losses to the next assessment year, you have to file the return of income within the due date. But in the loss incurred year, you file the return of income after the due date. Now, in this year, if you are claiming that losses, that is not correct. Now, we can adjust that losses. So that means last year, you are filed the return of income after the due date, but you are setting off of the last year losses against this total income. So that is not correct. Now we can add back these are all the things. First one important incorrect claims. Yes, disallowance of loss claims if the loss return filed after the due date in earlier years. Arithmetical errors. Next, disallowance of expenses. So we can disallow some expenses. Example, I will tell you. And increasing some income indicated in tax audit report. I will tell you, in tax audit report, generally we can fill certain particulars. Example, if TDS is not deducted, we can disallow the 30% of that expenses. Or in case of non-resident, we can disallow 100% of that expenses. So that are identified by the tax auditor. He clearly said that these expenses are disallowed and we have to increase certain incomes. These are all the things are reflected in tax audit but not reflected in the return of income. Now automatically now we can adjust the total income in the return of income. Now, yes. Two deductions, section 10AA deductions as well as chapter 6A deduction under heading C. Section 10AA is special economic zone deduction and chapter 6A deduction under heading C, that is an income based chapter 6A deductions. If you want to claim these two deductions, you have to file the return of income within the due date, on or before due date. If you filed after the due date, these are all the things we need to adjust. Sir, these 5 points only you have to remember. No need to remember any extra points. So as for these points, if any income, if assessing officer wants to adjust now, so that is, so like 12 lakh. Now your income increased by the computerized assessment. How much? 12 lakh. Because arithmetical errors happening, you are claiming incorrect claims, disallowance of loss because you are not filed the loss return within the due date in the last year. Tax audit report saying some disallowance of expenses, some increasing of income, but you are not taking that in your return of income. So after the due date, you file the return of income. That's why these two deductions are not at all possible to take. But if you are taken, so now I have to add these are all the things I can increase the total income. Now, so this list of things I identified, like one is 30,000, another one is 70,000, another one 1 lakh, I have to add. So first this list is prepared by the assessing officer. Now assessing officer will give the intimation to the SSE before making the adjustments. I want to do these three things as an adjustments to your return of your total income. You filed in the return of income just 10 lakh total income. Now I want to increase the total income. That intimation he will send by using the writing or electronically also. Now SSA needs to give the response to this within how many days? 30 days. This is called as an initial intimation in normal our language. So it is not a final intimation. We are intimating about, sir, I am going to do these adjustments for your total income. So after, yes sir, he said that, sir, no need to adjust, sir, I will submit the proof. If you are not submitting information, they will submit that information, etc. They can give some explanation. Based on that explanation, yes, after adjusting all the things, we can send the final intimation to the SSE. So some cases we can issue the demand notice also. Sir, you paid just 1.5 lakhs, sir. Sorry, you paid just 1 lakh, sir. Now, as per after the completion of processing, your tax liability is 1.5 lakh. The difference 50,000 please pay. Like that we can send the demand notice also. Next, in case 2, yes, it is also can be happen, first demand notice, or yes, they can issue the demand notice along, okay, otherwise they can issue the what refund also. You paid already 1 lakh, sir, but 80,000 only your tax liability. Sorry, we collected that extra amount. You paid that extra amount in early. Now we can give the refund of how much amount? 20,000. Anything also can be possible. Now this intimation, so final intimation, not initial intimation, final intimation shall be sent to that SSC. Remember this time limits important. within 9 months from the end of the financial year in which the return of income was filed. So generally, return of income filed end of the financial year. Suppose if you file the return of income in that assessment year 25-26, from the end of the financial year, you have to complete this processing and you have to give the final intimation within how many months? 9 months. Remember the terminology also. Return filed financial year ending within 9 months, you have to complete the processing and you need to send the final intimation also. Now I will tell you justification of this name. Why they are given the name as an processing? So because it is a computerized processing, why we are giving the name as an intimation? We are doing that initial intimation, final intimation, summary, overall assessment, not in-depth assessment. That's why it isn't called as summary assessment. I hope you are all are getting the clarity about it. Now we can discuss about the next two sections, that is 143.2 and next 143.3. 143 to 143.3. Now just one assessment is over. So it is not an assessment, remember. It isn't just a processing. It is not an assessment order. It is not treated as assessment order, remember. So it isn't just a computerized preliminary assessment. We can call it as an intimation. That may be initial or final intimation, not an assessment order. For the purpose of revision, generally it is not an assessment order. For the purpose of doing the revision order under section 264, 263, yes, it can be also treated as order. Generally, it is not an assessment order. For the purpose of conducting the revision under section 263, 264, for that purpose, we can treat this 143.1 intimation also can be treated as order. 7-mark question, that is on previous attempts, remember. Generally, it is not an assessment order. It is not an assessment procedure also, to be honest. But for the revision purpose, we can treat it as an assessment order only. Now, next two sections, one set only. So, if system identified, system means risk management strategy, identified the some flaws in your return. Now, they will select your file for the scrutiny assessment. So, I will tell you simple example, salaried assessees only processing, they will not go for the scrutiny also. All the salaried assessees are 143.1 is conducted, they will give you the refund itself closed. Business assessees. So if you are doing any fraudulent transaction, if that the system identified that all the things, for that SSC, we can conduct the scrutiny assessment, that is in-depth assessment we can call, or we can call it as a regular assessment also. In CMA final, always they are giving it as a regular assessment, remember. Sir, every assessment should start with the sending of the notice to the SSC. Now, in this, for this scrutiny assessment, notice is given under section 143.2. For conducting the scrutiny assessment under section 143.3, we have to send the notice under section 143.2. Both the things we can discuss within 10 minutes. Now we can start. For all SSCs or selected SSCs, generally selected SSCs only. Second point, directly I am starting, listen. Notice under section 143.2 is mandatory for conducting the scrutiny assessment under section 143.3. Now, sir, you are in high profile SSC. Now, yes, for you, I want to start with the 143.3 assessment, sir. So, for that purpose, we send a notice under section 143.2. Yes, even though directly they issued this 143.2 notice, sir, after filing the return of income, immediately next 1 week they issued the notice under section 143.2 for conducting 143.3, but processing is mandatory only. Because every return of income must be processed under section 143 subsection 1. Sir, already I am going for scrutiny assessment, no problem. We can complete the processing side. Now, For conducting this assessment under 143.3, what is the notice section? 143.2. Remember, important in exam. So, notice you have to serve within 3 months from the end of the financial year in which the return of income was filed. Remember, previous year 24-25, you filed the return in an assessment year. From that year ending, within 3 months, you have to send the scrutiny assessment related notice. Very, very important time limit. This one, remember. Return filed financial year ending within 3 months, you have to send the notice for the scrutiny assessment. Sir, many students are thinking that notice means just like invitation card. No, 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 no. In this notice, I will ask my doubts and all the things. In response to that notice, SSC will submit information. I have doubts about some deductions. So now SSC will give the response to that questions which I raised during the issuance of notice. So based on this information or material evidence, yes, now based on this information only, now AO will compute the income or loss of an SSC along with the tax payable or refundable. So previously, yes, you declared some income. Now we can increase that income, or now we can decrease that income also along with the what is the tax required to pay, or whether you are getting any tax as a refund also they will compute. Yes, that is only order of scrutiny assessment. Now, in which time we have to complete this entire scrutiny assessment? Clearly they are given within 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. Within 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. Remember, processing time limits. Processing time limits are from the financial year ending 9 months. But scrutiny assessment time limits, relevant assessment year ending 12 months. 143 to notice, return filed financial year end within how many months? 3 months. Now I will tell you, sir, assessing officer send a notice, sir. But I am not submitting any information. How AO will do the assessment, sir? No problem. For this type of SSEs only, we can start the best judgment assessment. We can start with the what ma? Best judgment assessment. Are you clear up to now? Now. So this is an important ma. ABC institution under section 10 subsection 23C etc. They are taken a registration and they can claim the exemption also under section 10. That means whatever the profits or total income they have, that is entirely exempt, they claimed also. But if they want to claim this exemption, they have to satisfy some conditions and they have to satisfy with some provision. But now they are contravening the provisions of the Income Tax Act 1961. Now AO identified these are all the contraventions. So already he filed the return. Now we want to do that what ma? Scrutiny assessment. While passing the scrutiny assessment, directly AO can cancel this exemption. No. We don't have that much of authority because this registration and all the things are given by the higher authorities like central government. Now AO can pass the information about the contraventions to the central government. Now AO needs to take an approval of withdrawal exemption from them. By using that only, he can cancel the exemption. Suo motoli or directly, he can't cancel the exemptions by way of taking an approvals from the higher authorities. With that help of that approvals only, you can cancel the exemptions while you are conducting the scrutiny assessment. So this is a 5-mark question in our workbook. Yes, you can refer. Yes, remaining all are direct theory questions from this chapter, ma. Now, I will show you some questions. Yes, this is only the question. Question number 4. Yes, in your free time you can refer. No need to put any extra effort, ma. Already we discussed this thing. Yes, already one trust or institution register their contravention the provision, but they claim the return of they claim that exemptions in the return of income. Now AO identified these contraventions. Can he cancel the exemption by way of passing the assessment order directly? No, no, no. You don't have that much of authority. Please take the permission from the higher authorities. After that, you can cancel the exemption and you can pass the assessment order to that SSC. So please give me confirmation about the scrutiny assessment, ma. Yes, every assessment should start with the sending of notice. For this assessment, what is the notice, ma? 143.2. Now, so please give me confirmation about your understanding. I'm going in a slow manner only. No problem. I can complete that all the things within a limited time of 2 hours. That's why please give me confirmation about your understanding. Yes, ma, you have to take one paper after the session or during the preparation. You have to take one paper and you have to write the time limits at once. Then you can remember. Otherwise, you can take that paper into your exam also. That is your option. Now, next one, section 144. Section 144, it is only best judgment assessment. But already I created a base for the best judgment assessment. I already created some base for the best judgment assessment. Now we can start with the best judgment assessment. So previously in certain cases we discussed that. Now I will recall it. If AO given the notice under section 142.1 for the purpose of filing of return of income, if SSC not filed that, now AO will start the which assessment, ma? Best judgment assessment. This is the first one. Second one, AO given the special audit directions, but you are not followed the special audit direction. Now I will start the which assessment, ma? Best judgment assessment. Third one, AO send the notice under section 143.2. Yes, for that you have to give the response. If you are not giving the response, I will start the which assessment, ma? Best judgment assessment. 3 cases already over. That is only we have in 144. Best judgment assessment. AO shall make an assessment of best of his judgment, and based on his knowledge, he can complete that assessment, because you are not at all supporting the assessing officer for completion of assessment. Then based on his decision making, based on his knowledge, based on available information, he can complete the assessment and he will pass the assessment order along with the demand notice or refund notice. What are the cases? I will tell you. First one, you not file the return of incomes one. First one, generally also you not file the return. Belatedly also you not file. Even updated return also you not file. Now, assessing officer send the 142.1 notice, but you are not given the response to that notice. Special audit directions and inventory valuation directions are given by the AO, but you are failed to comply with the directions. Last one, scrutiny assessment related notice they send, but you are failed to comply with that notice. In all the cases, now AO wants to start which assessment, ma? Best judgment assessment. Now, every assessment should start with the sending of notice. Now, what is a notice, ma? So cause notice. Yes, so cause notice along with a reasonable opportunity of being heard. So cause notice means, I will tell you. Sir, I want to initiate the best judgment assessment against you. If you have any reason, or if you have any reason, yes, please show me that cause. You don't want to, yes sir, go for the best judgment assessment. Yes, show me the cause. So that's why always show cause notice along with the reasonable opportunity of being heard, I will provide. But what happened in the second case, sir? No, I will not give the reasonable opportunity of being heard as well as show cause notice also in second, because first you not file. Second, I am given the one more chance. Sir, you not file the return of income within the due date, sir. So that's why I am given the reminder by using this notice under section 142(1). For that also you are not given the response. That's why for you I will not give you the show cause notice. Directly I will start the best judgment assessment. Now, this is an important discretionary best judgment assessment. So that means automatically in these cases, I will start best judgment assessment. No need of show cause notice, no need of reasonable opportunity of being heard, etc. Because these are the serious issues. What are the serious issues, sir? I will tell you. So AO is not satisfied with the books of accounts of the SSE. You are not followed the correct method of accounting also. Next. ICDS also not followed by the SSE. These are the serious issues. Directly we can initiate the best judgment assessment. Sir, what is the time limit, sir? Same as 143.3 scrutiny assessment. What is the time limit, sir? Within the 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. 12 months from end of RAY. Time limits, please try to remember. Now, this is only the best judgment assessment. Every assessment should start with the sending of notice. Now, what is a notice? Show cause notice in this section. For 143.3 regular assessment, scrutiny assessment, what is the notice? 143.2. Now, next sections in our discussion, we can start directly with the dispute resolution panel. Important. Some amendment is also there in this section. Remember, dispute resolution panel. To be honest, these are the expected guess concepts also are important concepts in my list that only I am covering now. You can verify. Dispute resolution panel. So can you define resolution of disputes we have to do in this concept? No. Remember, important, I am expecting this concept also in our exams. No. 144C. Yes, Rahul, I will try to cover it. Yes, I think within next 2 or 3 days, I can close the whatever the chapters I am given as a promise for the revision. I will tell you and I will close it the total chapters also. Whatever the things I given as a promise, I will close it on next within 2 to 3 days. Okay. Next. 144C. It is dispute resolution panel, in shortcut DRP. Example, AO yes conducted the assessment. Yes, at the time of return filing, what is that? SSE paid the tax sum of 50,000. Now, after the completion of an assessment, assessing officer is asking the tax, etc. 2 lakh. That means already you paid, sir, but I am issuing the demand notice. You have to pay extra 2 lakh as per our assessment. Now within 30 days, SSE should accept this demand notice and he needs to pay. One option. No, sir. If you have any objections, yes, now you can file your objections with the DRP. Sir, we know appeals concept. Yes, you can go for appeals. But remember, this is a DRP. So, who can make an objections with the DRP? Eligible SSE only, not all. So, that means non-resident or foreign company or any person involving in the transfer pricing cases. These are the SSEs are very important for the Indian economy. Why? Sir, if you are making trouble while conducting that assessment, If that SSE is a non-resident or if any person involving in the transfer pricing cases, that foreign exchange or foreign direct investments can be affected. So that's why we want to provide the fast track resolution of disputes to them. So that's why we constituted the dispute resolution panel. In that we have 3 commissioner of income taxes will be there. So it isn't panel means a group of experts, 3 commissioner of income taxes will be there. Yes, in dispute resolution panel, it is an MCQ point. Now, so DRP will give the directions to that AO, not order. DRP will give you that what ma? Directions to that AO. Based on the direction, they can pass the assessment order to the SSE. So after considering the what are and all the things, DRP can give the direction. So first, AO order they will verify. Whatever that objections filed by the SSE they will verify. What are the evidences submitted by the SSE they will verify. Valuation report and transfer pricing officer TPO reports. These are all the things they can verify. After verifying that evidences also they will verify. Enquiry results also like 142.1. Enquiry results also they will verify. After that, DRP can pass the directions to that AO. Based on these directions, AO can pass the order to the SSE. So now, DRP can do these 3 things. They can confirm, reduce, enhance. They can confirm this variation of, yes, can you tell me? Whatever that variation is there, definitely I already paid 50,000, but they are asking 2 lakh. They are asking extra 2 lakh. Whatever that variation is there, they can confirm that variation. Now they can reduce the variation or they can enhance that variation also. Now, very important, ma. If any order, if direction issued by DRP, important MCQ, that should be binded over on whom? AO. So what is the reason why I need to bind it over on the direction given by the DRP? Because AO higher authority is commissioner of income tax. That's why if they are given the direction, you have to follow the directions without any deviation. Now, so generally, what is that appeals route? If any SSE aggrieved by the assessing officer order, first he can go with this route. Joint Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, after that ITIT, after that High Court, after that what Supreme Court. But if you are an eligible SSE, you can go for normal route also. Okay. But you have an option to make an appeal with the whom? DRP. Yes, DRP. Here also we have a Commissioner of Income Tax. Here also we have a 3 Commissioner of Income Taxes. So that's why we can call this as an alternative dispute resolution mechanism for these 2 SSEs only. This is an dispute resolution mechanism. Alternatively, for these eligible SSE, we created the DRP. Sir, example, DRP passes the direction. They are given the direction as an confirm. That means whatever that the 2 lakh is correct only. So that's why they are also given that order again 2 lakh. Now, who is disagreed with the DRP direction? SSE. Now, if any order passed by AO with the directions of DRP shall be appealable before ITAT. Sir, I am not at all satisfied with the AO order. So that's why I'm making an appeal with the DRP. DRP is also given that against order against to me only. Now I can make an appeal with the ITOT. If you want to proceed further, that must be involving question of law or question of fact. But DRP shall be issued the direction within how many months? They have to issue the directions within 9 months from the end of the month in which the draft AO order forwarded to the SSE. Remember? So draft AO order. That means what? This AO order passed to that SSE from that month end, not year end, month end to within how many months? 9 months. Within how many months? 9 months. Try to remember this point. Time limits, remember. So draft order passing month end within 9 months, DRP needs to issue the direction. Are you clear? So 144C also over. Now we have to go with the amended concept ma. Listen carefully. I will take half an hour time for this. No problem. If time not permitted, I will close this session I think around 11. So if possible, I will try to record that search and seizure in night or tomorrow morning time. I will upload it, but no problem. But it is an amended area. I'm expecting some MCQs or theory based question also from this, but try to remember these sections. Now, what is that sections I'm going to start now? 147. It is only income escapement assessment procedure, or we can call it as a reassessment, or we can call it as an reopening of cases. We can call it as what ma? Reopening of what ma? Cases. Clear? Now, generally, check it out the things ma. Check it out the things. Assessment procedures generally we have in our syllabus. This is not an assessment order, but remember processing, scrutiny assessment, best judgment assessment, next income escapement assessment procedure. In this we have some amendments. Now I will tell you in detailed manner. Income escapement assessment procedure, another name reopening of cases, another name is a reassessment. Remember clearly. I need your 100% attention, because if you understood this only, this linking concept will be there in that search and seizure and survey chapter, that is an block assessment. That is an block assessment. Now, so I will open this section number directly. Yes. 147, income escapement assessment procedure, reassessment or reopening of cases. Or what ma? Reopening of cases. So before starting this income escapement assessment procedure, I want to tell you background. Sir, if any search initiated, yes, before 1/4/2021, a long gate, yes ma, a long back, related to search concept, after that what we can do ma? Seizure can be done. After search, what we can do? Seizure can be done. So what is the tax liability of an SSC? So for that computation of tax liability, we followed the block assessment. We followed the what ma? Block assessment. Yes, but on or after 1/4/2021, our income tax department as well as the tax officials are decided that why we need to follow the two different assessment procedures. Why we need to follow the two different assessment procedure? Sir, income escaping also the similar assessment only. Block assessment means nothing but what ma? If any undisclosed income can be identified in the search, that related we have to complete the block assessment. That means some particular number of years we can treat as a block. For that assessment years we can do that block assessment. But objective of this 147 income escapement assessment or block assessment is one and the same. So that's why they abolished the block assessment. If search conducted, remember, on or after 1/4/2021 and before 1/9/2024. Remember these dates. So for search cases also, we are conducting the income escapement assessment procedure only. Can you tell me what is the starting date? On or after 1/4/2021 and before 1/9/2024. Sir, what is that? Finance Act 2024, again they reintroduced the block assessment concept for the search cases. If search initiated on or after this date, on or after this date. Before this date, which assessment ma? Income escapement assessment procedure only for such cases also. But on or after this date, we want to follow the which assessment ma? Block assessment. Block assessment is a new concept, a reintroduced concept only. Now, so what you have to remember, sir, previously, before 1/4/2021, sir, if such happened, such related tax liability as well as total income can be identified by the block assessment. Now, yes, sir, on or after this date, but before 1/9/2024, they are merging the block, they are abolished the block assessment. So, for this also, they are followed the income escapement assessment procedure only. But Finance Act 2024 reintroduced the block assessment if assessment is, if such conducted or initiated on or after 1/9/2024. Now, for our examination, previous year is, yes, this ending date and starting date. But now I will tell you, before this date, search conducted, we have to follow income escapement assessment procedure. On or after this date, if search conducted, we have to follow block assessment. In next chapter, I will tell you what is a block assessment, how to calculate the total income as well as tax liability in the block assessment. But now our concentration is income escapement assessment procedure. Sir, is there any change to that income escapement assessment procedure? Yes. In this period, search cases also covered in this, but now after that, search cases are not covered. So that's why we have to discuss in two ways, ma. Can you tell me? On or after this date, but before this date, search cases also covered in this only. Search cases also covered here. But on or after 1/9/2024, search cases covered under block assessment. Now, can you tell me search cases related? Assessment not covered. So now, can you tell me here the scope is very high, but now scope reduced. So just give me confirmation up to now, all of you. If you are understood this up to this points discussion, then I will proceed with this and I will close it down with this assessment procedure chapter for today. So because I want to take a time, if I am going in a speed manner, also some students will not understood this income escapement assessment procedure. I want to invest one more 25 to 30 minutes for this section only. If you understood this, definitely tomorrow's session will be cakewalk for you only. Yeah, are you clear? Just reply is needed, sir. I think for putting the comment, there is no high data consumption also, and there is no bank account hacking also. So there will be nothing will be happen from your side, sir, if you are doing the comment. Okay. Sir, in your examination, you have to remember such conducting date. Sorry, such initiated date. So now I will give you one date. Now you need to tell. Okay. Now you have to tell. I'm asking the one question. Such initiated, right? 3/8/2024. Now, related to this, which assessment we have to follow? 3/8/2024 such conducted, which assessment we have to follow? Search conducted 3/8/2024, which assessment ma? Super. Directly I am written the section number 147 only, because yes, in between that period, such cases also covered in that income escapement assessment. Now, I am given the one more date. No? So 3/10/2024. Can you tell me which assessment, ma? Block assessment. What is the base date we have to remember? 1/9/2024. Before this, on or after this. Clear? Now, I am proceeding with this one. First, I will take the, so what is that income escapement assessment position on or after this date, but before this date. The scope is very high. Such cases also covered, remember. So first A point, income escapement assessment procedure on or after this date, but before this date. Now you have to put the heading. Yes, what is that? Search cases also covered in this assessment only. The scope is very high. Now, so what are the important sections in this income escapement? 147, 148, 149. 148, 140, 147, 149. Sir, this is an income escapement assessment. Every assessment should start with the sending of notice. For income escapement assessment procedure, what is a notice? 148 notice. This notice we have to send within the time limits mentioned under section 149. Are you clear? Remember, if you want to conduct the income escapement assessment procedure, we need to send the 148 notice. That 148 notice needs to be sent within the time limit mentioned under section 149. With this example only, we want to crack this income escapement assessment procedure. Now listen. Previous year 16-17 is there, and assessment year 17-18. In Mr. X Andhra Bank account, some amount is deposited 50 lakh. Some amount is also credited by way of gamblings and bettings, etc. Now, so maybe he is not at all filed the return of income, or he filed the return of income, but he not disclosed that above incomes in the return of income. That's why he is an escaping the income from the tax only. Remember, he is an escaping the income from the tax only now. Try to remember, again I am saying, he is not at all filed the return of income, or filed but he is not disclosed these two things in the return of income. Now he done that income, escaped from the tax. Now we are in the present previous year 24-25, assessment year 25-26 now. So we want to send the notice under 148 for conducting the 147 assessment. Yes, this is not possible only. In earlier year, you are escaping the income from the tax. Now, we are sending the notice for that SSC for conducting the income escapement assessment procedure. Now, first I will discuss the 148 notice for conducting the 147 assessment. Directly don't send the notice. First given chance to file the return of income. Sir, I know, sir. Okay, now we are in this position, we are sending the notice to this fellow. Sir, in this year, you are escaped the 50 lakh as well as 2 crore from the tax. Sir, with the reference, a transaction number, they will send the notice, sir. So, at what time you are doing the transaction, in which bank account, what is the transaction ID, all the things they will send it to you. Now, so they will send the details also, and they will ask this, sir, furnish the return of income. So if you furnish the return of income itself, it isn't closed only. Remember, yes, but they will ask the return of income within the specified time. What is the specified time? Notice sent month ending. Within how many months they will ask? 3 months. Sometimes they can give the additional time also if SSC requested that. If an SSC requested that, sir, 3 months is not sufficient for me, sir. So notice given month ending within 3 months is not sufficient. Please give 5 months. Yes, they will give you. But if you file the return after this period or beyond this period, so it would not deemed to be treated as return under section 139. Remember, Murugan, I will tell you after some time, the discussion also we can discuss that point also, but try to remember. First, we are sending a just notice for filing of return of income. If you file the return of income, the issue can be closed now. Now, if you file the return after the beyond the time, now that is not treated as validated. Sir, you are not filed the return of income directly. We are now sending the notice under section 148 for directly conducting the 147 assessment. Remember, if you want to send the 148 notice, these two conditions we have to check. These two conditions we have to check. First one, sir, you need to have an information. Yes, SSC have assessing officer have an information within his hands. That information suggesting that income chargeable to tax has been escaped. Yes, sir, in your Andhra bank account, these are amounts are credited, sir, and these are all are escaped from the tax. If you haven't proper information, then only you can send the notice under section 148. Second one, if AO obtain the permission from specified authority, if these two conditions are satisfied, then only we can send the notice under section 148 for conducting the 147 assessment. Are you clear up to now? Yes, please give me information about understanding of this concept up to now. Points by points we can discuss. Remember, if you are an SSC escaped the tax in earlier years, they want to send the 148 notice. First, they have an information. Second one, they need to obtain the prior permission. Now, we need to discuss about the, what do you mean by the information? Information means what? So now I am talking about this first point. Information means, yes, the first one, any information with the risk management strategy. So that means information systems maintained by the department is suggesting that one informations are this fellow escaped the tax. Second one, audit objections. Based on that auditor report also we can use this information as an income escaped related source, and based on this information we can send the 148 notice. Next one, any information received from the other country governments, yes, that is nothing but DTAA agreements. Example, so now Indian government is an exchanging that information with the USA government. Now USA government saying that, yes sir, your resident and ordinary resident having that income in that USA also, but that income is an escaped from the tax. Now based on the double taxation avoidance agreements related information also, we can send the 148 notice. Now, faceless collection of information. So now we can use this faceless collection of information. Normally, the assessing officer needs to go to the premises of an SSC for collection of information, and we have in one section faceless collection of information. Okay, if any information received under faceless collection of information also, like, yes ma, without interacting the SSC, if you collected any information, that is only the faceless collection of information. Or based on court or tribunal order also, these are all are direct information. So if this information suggesting the income escaped from the tax in the earlier years, now we can send the 148 notice. But now, so these are important. These are the cases are, yes, these are the cases are deemed to be treated as important. Sir, your old institute is applicable for important list of questions. I didn't understood your question, Vishnu. So please retype it. Yes. So these are the important. Sir, I already told. Yes, in these search cases also covered, na. If any search initiated between this period, which assessment we have to start? Which assessment we have to start, ma? Income escapement. So that's fine. Now we introduced the deemed to be treated as information. So if any search initiated, remember, if any search initiated and so assets are seized also, but on or after this date, but before what date ma you can add now also, before 1/9/2024. Your old institute means no, sir. Version 3, version 4 books, if you have, yes, you can use the important questions, sir. Version 3, version 4, both the books having the same question numbers, ma, you can use. Version 2 is not at all applicable for our exams. Version 3 and version 4 you can. Sir, if any survey conducted also on or after this date and before 1/9/2024. Remember, now if any search is conducted, survey is conducted on or after this date, before this date, which assessment we have to start? Income escapement. That's why directly we are included this as an information only. Based on this deemed to have an information, we can send the 148 notice for conducting 147 assessment. Last point is important. Sir, any money, bullion, jewelry, documents are seized or searched and seized in the hands of other persons, sir. But these are all the things are belongs to me. Example, in the hands of one student, yes, ma, in the hands of one student, yes, search conducted and assets are seized, ma. No. But the date is on or after the date, but before what date, ma? 1/9/2024. Sir, why before only I am writing, ma? Because on or after the date, we are included. These are all the cases in a block assessment. Block assessment, that's right. So, intentionally they are putting these cases in which assessment, ma? Block assessment. Even though that search completion, survey completion only deemed to be treated as information, on that we can start the 148 notice we can issue, and we can start the 147 assessment. Now in the hands of faculty, so now we can go with the income escapement assessment procedure. These are all the things are conducted in the hands of whom? A student. But whose assets are found? SSI, that is in faculty. Now in the hands of faculty, they need to start with the income escapement assessment procedure by way of sending the notice. Now, again that department is given the one relaxation. Sir, directly don't send the 148 notice. I think Murugan, your doubt only, ma. Now we can start our discussion. Sir, directly, yes, even though you have an information or deemed to have an information, don't send notice directly. So please follow the 148A steps. Sir, I have an information, sir, or deemed to have an information. Based on that, yes, I know SSC escaped the income from the tax, sir. I obtained the permission also, but don't issue directly. Please follow 148A steps. What are that 148A steps? Now I will tell you. Yes, conduct inquiry. Here also you have to conduct inquiry. And second, you have to provide the reasonable opportunity of being heard by way of issuing the so cause notice. Sir, now I have an information, deemed to have an information. I already obtained the permission from the specified authority also. Now I want to attack on you with the income escapement assessment procedure by way of sending 148 notice. So the details I will send by using so cause notice. If you don't want to go with the income escapement assessment procedures, show me the cost. Show me the cost. So generally you have to give the reply within 7 to 30 days, ma. So then I have to follow the reply of an SSC. Then the assessing officer will decide whether we have to send the notice or not. So this is a mandatory thing, ma. Directly don't issue 148 notice. Before issuing the 148 notice, please follow the 148A procedure. But in these in these three cases, we can't follow the 148A procedure. What are the cases, ma'am? So, sir, red-handedly you caught in search. So that's why I need to provide again for you. Yes, these are all the reasonable opportunity of being heard, inquiry, etc. That's why if you are red-handedly caught during the search, that's why I will not go with the 148-year procedure. Directly I will issue the notice. Here also, yes, in the hands of other person we conducted the search. SSC related assets are found. Here SSC red-handedly caught, sir. So now no need to apply this 148A procedure. Directly we can send the notice. Next, faceless collection related also. Many students are writing all these three. No. So all these three non-applicability cases they are written. No, 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 ma. Search case, no search case. Survey related, yes, we can provide the 148A charge. So can you tell me, out of these information cases, yes, for these 3 points, if for these 3 points related, if you want to send 148 notice, directly you can send. Related to other points, definitely there is one more chance, 148A procedure. Clear? So give me confirmation up to now, ma. If you understood this, all the things, then so majority of that difficult concepts are over. Now you can relax and you can take some water and you can do some dance also. So for getting out of the sleep, etc., you can do anything also. Don't open any new browser in your web. Yes. Clear? First, we can give a chance to file the return of income, sir. If you filed okay, so then we have to decide based on these information deemed to have an information, and with the help of these authorities, we can send the notice. Before sending the notice, follow the steps under section 148A. But 148A steps is not applicable in these three cases. What are the three cases? Search cases and information received cases. So non-applicability means that, okay, why we want to start the 148 procedure? So we can give one more chance, like we can ask the inquiry. So we can, yes sir, ask with the show cause notice also, then consider the reply. So if he is given the convincing reasons, then we can stop the issuance of 148 notice. These steps you can follow. Yes ma, these are all the steps you can follow. But in these three cases, no need of a 148A procedure, because search happened means, and the search happened and seizure also done means you are already, yes sir, have an undisclosed income. Red-handedly you caught in the search procedure. In this case also the same thing. So now why we need to give one more chance of this inquiry, show cause notice, etc. So that's why in these two cases, along with the faceless collection of information, directly go with the 148 notice. No need to follow these steps. So these cases means, what are the cases, ma? First search case, last one not survey. Search case and faceless collection related. No need to follow the steps, ma. Directly we can issue the 148 notice. Are you clear? Now 149, what is that? Yes, finally you decided to send a 148 notice, but what is the time limit? I will tell you. So now all the cases I am classifying into two cases, general case, special case. How to classify into general case and special case, ma? Remember, If income escaped from the tax from that end of the relevant assessment year, within 3 years only you can send the notice in general case. So first of all, I want to define the what is a general case and what is a special case. If income escaped is more than 50 lakh, if income escaped is more than 50 lakh, that is special case. Other than special cases, all are general. So now, if income escaped is more than 50 lakh from the end of the relevant assessment year in which income escaped, within 10 years, we can send the notice. What is the notice? 148 notice for conducting the 147 assessment. In general case, income escaped is less than 50 lakh. So that's why, yes, in that year in which income escaped from the end of the relevant assessment year, how many years? 3 years. Now I will tell you, in our example, I think he escaped the 250 lakh income. I think how much income he escaped from the tax? 250 lakh. It is a general case or special case? Definitely special case. Now, in the assessment year 17-18, he escaped the income. From the end of the relevant assessment year, within 10 years, in this time, at any time, we can issue the notice under section 148 for conducting the 147 assessment. Sir, important. Now we are discussing the income escapement assessment procedure is from on or after 1/4/2021 to, can you tell me what before 1/9/2024? Can you tell me in these such cases also covered? So time limits, if you remember, mostly we are getting the practical questions from this concept only. So they will give you the time is so now based on this income escaped only, we have to decide whether it is a general case or special case from the end of the relevant assessment year. If that, yes, 10 years within the time, at any time we can send the notice. Yes, here within 3 years at any time we can send the notice. Now 147 is a normal concept only, yes. Already we got in more and more information. Now we can assess and reassess the income of the SSC. During conducting the 147 assessment, if any other income also comes into the notice of the assessing officer, subsequently, now we can assess that income also under the income escapement assessment. Example. So what is that? 2 crores bedding amount, 50 lakh US deposits amount is done. One more 30 lakh is identified while conducting the assessment of this 2.5 crore. Now, the assessing officer can assess this income also. So time limit is an always important here. The time limit they are linking with the 148 notice, because 148 notice is trigger point for the 147 assessment. 148 notice issued year end. So 148 notice issued year end. Within 12 months, we have to complete the income escapement assessment procedure under section 147. Remember, why sir? Here no return of incomes, no things, etc. Because notice only the triggered point. Notice under section 148 filed year ending, within 12 months we have to complete the income escapement assessment procedure. Now I want to tell you 151 is specified authority permission. So previously I ignored that from which authority we have to take a permission. So remember, in general case you have to take a permission from these authorities. In special case you have to take a permission from this authority. So generally these are the lower authorities. So can you tell me these are the higher authorities only? So nothing but special case now first and foremost two authorities in direct test wing as well as assessment wing. So next general case, yes, lower authorities to them, they need to give the permission. Now very important, rate of taxation. Listen, in which year income is escaped in our example, in this year income escaped. Now we are sending the notice to the SSC within this year, yes, because so this is a special case, within 10 years we can send the notice. Now We are within this time only because we are in the previous year 24, 25 and assessment year 25, 26. Now we are within the time we are sending the notice and assessment also done. Now, income escapement assessment is done in this year and total income they identified as an 2.5 crore. Now, what is the tax rate we have to apply? So, we want to collect the tax on what? 2.5 crore. Yes, remember, we have to apply the tax rates in the year in which income was escaped. Remember, tax rates are applicable to the respective years in which that such income liable to be taxed. In which year that income liable to be taxed, to be honest, in this year, that year tax rates only you have to take. That year tax rates only you have to take. That year tax rates only you have to take for computing the tax liability. Yes, ma. So then within 5 minutes we can complete the next part, that is only amended. So what is the position after introduction of the block assessment? So now we haven't one block assessment. Yes. So that is undisclosed related. Here the block assessment related we have to identify. Sorry. So that is a 78, that is a normal. Here we can't say that is an undisclosed. Penalties and prosecutions will be different. But remember, so now 78, but on that occasion we don't know what is that rate. Now we are discussing for the relevant year 78. We don't know what about the rates on undisclosed income in the earlier years also. If same, okay. If different, please apply that rates. Now remember, block assessment is introduced if any search, seizure, etc. is conducted on or after, initiated on or after 1/9/2024. Now, what happened? Because of this introduction of the block assessment concept, this is an amendment, to be honest. Because of this amendment, we have consequential amendments in the income escapement assessment. Previously, the scope is more. Now, scope is reduced because such cases are going for block assessment. So now, what is the position on or after? We have to learn both the things. 147 income escapement assessment procedure. 148, that is nothing but what notice for income escapement. 149, within the what time we have to send the notice under section 148. So first one, directly we can't give the notice under section 148. First we are giving a chance to file the return of income within the specified time. Yes, what is the specified time? Generally 3 months we can give. If an SSE requested, we can send the additional time also. If return is furnished beyond that period, that return is treated as what? Invalid return. Now, next, can you tell me 148 notice wants to be issued? Yes, you can issue if you have an proper information with the assessing officer, that information suggesting that income chargeable to tax has an escaped, and along with that, if you have a prior permission from the specified authority, if these two conditions are satisfied, then only we can send the notice under section 148. The same concept, but only one thing, search cases removed. Now information means I will tell you. So previously information means, yes, how many things are covered, general cases, that means normal information 5 cases, deemed to have an information 3 cases. Remember, normal information 5 cases, deemed to have an information 3 cases. Now what happened after amendment? After amendment, normal information 5 cases are continued, deemed to have an information only one is continued. Survey, both the such cases are moved to block assessment. That's why we are removed from here. Clear? Remember, if survey conducted on or after, because before that date we discussed here. If survey conducted, yes ma, on or after, before this date we covered here. That's why we are written directly as an on or after this date. Yes. So now many of you having the clarity about this concept, ma, please let me know. First of all, so how these changes are made, ma? Because of this block assessment, such cases are going for block assessment. Now, whatever the things are happened, sorry, whatever the things are covered in that income escapement assessment, yes, on or after 1/4/2021 to yes before 1/9/2024, yes, now the scope is removed, ma. Sorry, the scope is reduced now. Now, next points also quickly we can complete, ma. So directly can I issue the 148 notice? No, 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 no. Please follow the, yes, before issuing the notice, please follow the 148A steps. What is that 148 steps? One more time we are given a chance to, yes, see. First inquiry. So give the reasonable opportunity of being heard by way of sending the so-called notice. Usually we can ask the reply within 7 to 30 days. Consider the replies of the SSC and decide about the whether we have to issue the notice or not. Sir, now non-applicability of 148A. Previously, non-applicability of 148A we have in 3. That is search as well as faceless collection. Search as well. Search concepts are always removed from this year after amendment. That's why non-applicability only one thing, ma. That is nothing but what, ma. In this case, or based on this, if you want to issue the notice, directly you can issue. Don't follow these steps. Faceless collection related, if you have an information, that information suggesting that income escaped, na, directly you can go with the notice. No need to follow these steps. Now, time limits amended, ma. Time limits amended. Please remember, time limits amended. 148. Now, previously, before amendment, yes, ma, 148 notice we have to issue within this time. After amendment, they are given the time limits for the so-called notice also. Are you clear? Before amendment, only we have what, ma? 148 notice we have to issue within this time. But after amendment, they introduced the time limits for 148A. This is a nothing but so-called notice. Directly don't issue the 148 notice. Please follow the 148A procedure. For that also they are given the time limits after amendment. First I want to tell you, yes, so-called notice time limits. General case, special case, ma. General case means you know. Yes, special case also you know. The same thing, ma. If income escaped is more than or equal to 50 lakh, special case, otherwise general case. Otherwise that is on what, ma? General case. Are you clear? Now, remember, previously in special case we have in 10 years, but now that is reduced to 5 years. Previously in special case 10 years from the end of the relevant assessment year. Here also 3 years continue. Remember this time limits for so-called notice. After giving the so-called notice, next 3 months you can issue the 148 notice. So first, yes ma, if income escaped in any year, yes, from the end of the relevant assessment year within 3 years, from the end of the relevant assessment year within 5 years, you have to issue the so-called notice. After sending the so-called notice, we are expecting the reply usually 7 to 30 days, but wait for 3 months. 3 years, 3 months, 5 years, 3 months. Remember, additionally, why they are adding the 3 months, ma? Because so-called notice can be given in within this time. After that, analyzing that so-called notice, we have to decide. Then, within next 3 months, you can send the 148 notice. Clear? Remember, after amendment, they added the time limits from 148A. Remember, many students are asking, they are confusing also. There is no need of confusion. Simply, yes. In which year income escape? From the end of the relevant assessment year, within 3 years, we have to send the SOCAS notice. Here, within 5 years. After the SOCAS notice issuance, we have to decide whether we have to issue the 148 notice or not. So that's why after 3 months, 3 years already over here, next 3 months, you have to issue the 148 notice. Now, next. So this is the same concept, how we are conducting the 147 assessment. Time limits is also same before amendment or after amendment. Time limits also same. Permission from the specified authority also same before amendment and after amendment. Now, rate of taxation is also same before amendment or after amendment. So these are the things are enough for doing any questions now. And in workbook, okay, I done some work. So, okay, whatever the thing. So in your free time, try what is the differences between the tax audit and what is the differences between the special audit. I think it is an 2012 exam question. So, okay, safe side, just refer. No need to remember, ma. So tax audit points, special audit points, side by side, you have to write. Now, this is a direct theory 143.1 processing direct theory question. So just they are asking the time limits, ma. Question number 3, they are asking the time limits. 143 to notice for which assessment they will send, ma. 143.3. So within that which time we have to complete the 143.3 assessment? Can you tell me? 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. Next, this we are already discussed. If any institution or any trust is in contravention the provisions of the income tax law, we have to disallow or we have cancel the exemption. No problem. That cancellation of an exemption can be, yes, directly they can't do. They have to take a permission from the authorities. After that, they can cancel. Now, best judgment assessment theory question. Now, this is 144A. Try to refer the 144A provision on your own. Yes, 144A provision on your own you can refer if possible. Otherwise, you can ignore also, no problem. Just I am referring this. So, this is a question you have to refer, ma. Dispute. This you can ignore, no problem. 144A. Yes. Seventh one, ma. Dispute resolution panel, section 144C. So direct theory question, but you have to read at least once. Now, this is only one question related to 148 notice, ma. So try. The easy question, ma, generally. Easy question generally. So normally, yes, ma. So one income is escaped. Based on that, yes, you have to decide whether that is a special or normal. Okay, I will read it, no problem. Mr. Samskar engaged in the business of retail trade and he has been doing the business and he is filing the return of income from the last 10 years. Every year declared that how much amount of income? 10 to 15. That means every year 10 to 15 means totally maximum he having the how much? 150 lakh, 1.5 crore only. But recently, yes, for the purpose of his marriage of his daughter, he incurred 5 crore. Sir, he filed the return of income for last 10 years. He declared 1.5 crore maximum only. But now he incurred for his marriage of his daughter. He incurred how much expenses? 5 crore. Now, definitely, yes, we have to send the 148 notice. No. Remember, here which thing is happened, ma? Such is happened. Can you tell me such happened date, ma? Before, after, ma? Before 1/9/2024. Which assessment? 147 assessment. Which notice? 148 notice. In with the time 149 time. Remember, such date, initiated date is important. Now, so further, can you tell me 148 notice we can send, ma? But because red-handedly he caught during the search, so that's why 148A is no need to send. Because before amendment already we discussed. What is that point, ma? In case of such is red-handedly caught, directly we can send the 148 notice. No need to issue the 148A order. 3 years is not allowed. That means what, ma? So if that is in general, 3 years. So if that is in special, we can issue that all the things within how many years, ma? 10 years. They are written that all the things. Now we can issue the assessment order for every assessment year, because that is a special case only. That's why within 10 years we can send the order. Now for that every assessment year, now we can send the notice. So AO wants to intend the notice under section 148. Yes, he can issue relevant to the previous year 18-19. So that means definitely yes, income escaped from the 18-19. 18-19 end of the year means nothing but what, ma? So previous year 18-19 we want to issue. What is that assessment year, ma? 19-20. Now, end of the relevant assessment year means 31st March 2020. Yes, can you tell me this is a special case? Within how many years we can issue, ma? From this end of the relevant assessment year, 10 years. It should be ended 31st March 2030. Within this time, now we are in the assessment year 25-26. Anyhow, now we can send the 148 notice for that these years. That is only their return. Samskar incurred the expenditure related to the marriage of his daughter. Assessing officer can send the notice under section 148 for the previous year 18-19, for the assessment year 19-20. Yes, it falls within that which period, ma? 10 years period. Now we are standing in this year, so that falls within that how many years, ma? 10 years period only. That's why we can send the notice. Next, ma. So it is a past exam question. 148 year notice time. 148 year notice. So they are asking what are the steps we have to follow. 148 non-applicability of 148 year only they are asking. So now, yes, in your free time. So now I will discuss. We have 5 minutes time. Ma. Two 92 BB important in our syllabus we have. Sir, if you have an energy to watch it also, I don't have any energy. So I will give an explanation to all of you. I haven't many works to do. So because, okay, I will give you the revision series, etc. Whatever I given as a promise. But in background, I'm doing that many works like interacting with the faculties, and we are doing the premises. We are giving the some repairs and all the things to that college premises, etc. So that's why I'm busy in many activities. You don't know if I'm giving the schedule and rescheduling many frustrations you have from your side, and I haven't many family works also I have to do. So that's why. So I have to take a rest for today. Tomorrow I will start that search and seizure topic. No problem. Okay. 292B. Sir, revision series, if you are done, I know about what happened in that exams also. I done a lot of research. So if you are watching the revision series, or if you are following the materials, or if you are following the important questions and concept, you can clear your exam at any cost. If they are setting the question paper in any manner also, you can score best marks only. So don't think about the how they are given the question papers, etc. Don't think about all the things. Just concentrate what you are already revised, and in future also, day before exam also, you have to revise that all the concepts in a speed manner. Forget about, sir, how can I remember? How can I remember? Forget about it. Just whatever that concepts are already revised. Now, if day before exam also, you have to revise that concept. Just within 5 minutes, like, so whatever it may be, 147 means what are the things you have to cover? 147 means nothing but before amendment. What is it after amendment? Just time limits are amended. Okay, what are the time limits? 3 months added. The points are enough. While you are writing that examination, they will not ask the entire chapter. They will ask the specific question. For the specific question, if you are written that answer, you will get marks. They will not ask the entire chapter. They will ask the specific question, specific point. If you write the specific point related answer, you will get marks. But you have to elaborate that answer, etc. But remember, just concentrate. Yes, you will get, no doubt. So now, last concept for today, And after this concept, you have to do this question number 10, direct question only. Now I am taking the same question as an example also. Remember, notice of AO deemed to be valid in certain cases. I will tell you. Sir, SSC return filed in the assessment year 25-26. So now we want to send the 143.2 notice. What is it? 143.2 notice? Scrutiny notice. Scrutiny notice we have to send within the 3 months from the end of the financial year in which the return was filed. Okay, return filed financial year ending. Yes, within 3 months. This is the last date for sending of the scrutiny notice. But department send the notice to our SSC on this date. Can you tell me that notice is time barred? Yes, or this notice is treated as an valid time barred notice only. Because this is the last date for sending of the notice. But you AO sent the notice on this date. It is treated as a time barred notice only. But SSC is, example, my father is a farmer. He don't know if he received anything. Like, okay, if you have any business income, etc. If he received the notice, definitely he will go for the proceedings. He cooperated in an inquiries also. And assessment also completed. Now remember, even though that is a time barred also, that notice deemed to be treated as, that is duly served upon him, the notice is treated as valid. Sir, if you want to object about that notice, before completion of an assessment only you have to object. You are already, yes sir, cooperated for inquiry. You are giving all the things. They passed an assessment order also. You can't object now. If you want to question, that is a notice is invalid, sir, improper manner, etc. You can't raise the type of objection after completion of assessment. So that's why if any SSC received the notices, please go with the expert's opinion. They will send you in, they will save you from the time barred sending of notices. So lack of knowledge, if you are going for the assessment also and assessment completed, after that you can't raise the objection. So that's why as per this section, notice of AO is not time barred also, but we are treating it as an valid only. No problem, I will keep, no problem. Just I am saying as an, so one student messaged only, sir, I already know the assessment procedures, sir. Please go with the next chapter. So some irritating messages came on that time. That's why I said that no problem, I will keep and all the things, so no problem. I don't want to delete it also. If I'm deleted it also, no use. So don't think about it, just watch. So remember, if you are not issuing the notice, yes, you can't go with the assessment. If you are not at all issued the notice, you can't start any assessment. For every assessment, notice is mandatory. If you are not at all issued the notice, you cannot cure the defect. You cannot cure that defect. That means, sir, I am not sending the notice, sir, no problem, come for assessment. No, I will not come. So now, same question we have this only. Remember 292BB is a department favorable provision. This is a department favorable provision. How we can say, sir, that is notice time barred only, but yes, some SSCs are given the cooperation for assessment. Already assessment is completed. The notice is now treated as valid. Deemed to be treated as valid. So this is only the points from my side with regarding the assessment procedure. Can you tell me what are the sections or amendments in assessment procedures, sir? What are the sections or amendments? 147 amendment, direct amendment, no. It is an indirect amendment or consequential amendment because of block assessment concept. Such cases are exclusively covered on or after 1/9/2024. If such initiated, that such cases are covered in block assessment now. So that's why we are removing the block assessment from the, we are removing the such cases from the income escapement assessment. That is only that amendment. They are not direct amendment, it is a consequential amendment. Thank you. Have a nice day.